hard times build resilience. And when we are looking at most of the companies, those who always make research on companies, none of them have ever come out right the first time. They always go through turbulence, and sometimes they feel like giving up. But because they have someone who feels this is my dream and I'll not let it go, what will happen? There will always be light at the end of the tunnel. You can look at Apple, the history of Apple. It took them decades to come up with the first phone. People resigned. Those who come in as co-founder, they said, no, I cannot wait any longer. Said their position and disappeared. What happened today? Look at Apple, $1 trillion company. And if you look at their history, they didn't get it easy. At that time, Nokia was at the top. Nokia, I remember it was about 95% share. Apple had how many? 5%. But just imagine if they gave up, what would have happened with Apple? We say, you know what? We spend all this money and look at the share we are getting. Nokia was there. They refused to undergo digital transformation. And that's why Nokia collapsed. And Microsoft bought Nokia and called it the Microsoft phone now we're using. But that's the history. They regretted doing all of these things. But when you have someone like the CEO, Mr. Ashmore, yes, there'll always be hard times. Sometimes you learn from your mistakes. You will never learn. Nobody have ever learned from what you have done right. If I've done something, there is nothing. There's no learning curve. It's always right for me. So there is no learning again. When you're doing everything is just perfect, so perfect for you. But you learn when you are hit with terrible things. There is always lesson learned. I said the only time you fail is when you give up. There is no failure if you are still determined, still push forward to make sure your dreams and goals are realized. And that's exactly what Mr. Ashmore is doing. Hard times means nothing for this man. For those who knows him, it means nothing. He smiles, he does himself, and the next thing he will think like, how do we get out from this mess? What is the next step? He never dwell and mourn and said, oh, you know what, the situation is bad, cursing people. No, he said, how do we get out? How can we get out of this mess and make sure we are on a rough ride? That's his thinking, the mindset of those who are visionaries. They always think of way out. When you shut the door, they'll look for the window to come out and come out more brighter than what, and they'll even think like, my God, even the first stage was even bad. Now the second phase is even better. You give them other opportunity, they'll tell you the next phase is even much better than this. So there is always brighter light as you hit rough road. There is always brighter light, double, triple. And that's the beauty about company like this. For someone who is a visionary, who never gives up, he said, you know what, we need to get this to a logical conclusion, because there are people whose life depend on this company one way or the other. There are companies who are looking for something like this to enhance their own business. There are normal people like you and I who are looking for this to build a business out of nothing. I'm not a marketer, but I know I'll be the best marketer because AI will do it for me. Getting the product and just push a button and they will do the work for me. What do I want again? If a place like this, and I said, no, I can't be inside, where can I be? Because there is nothing. The only thing I can do, like Warren Buffett said, is just to continue my job work until I drop dead. But thank God, something like this came in my own generation, which I will wholeheartedly embrace it and see it, and only pray for the owner, for God to keep him healthy so that he can bring this to the world.